Hey guys. First of all, I want to congratulate my friend Iglika Nikolova. She had a beautiful baby boy named Stefan on the 10th. She's one of the nicest, coolest people you could meet. If I'd ever had a daughter, I would have wanted her to be like Iglika. So, uh, stop by, tell her congratulations. You can still leave messages even if you're not her friend. Uh, if I look a little sweaty, that's because I had to sit back. Sit back being that the fan on the air conditioner, the one that sits right above the air conditioning unit, froze. That's another word for seized up. And you have to disassemble the motor, clean it, lubricate it, all that. This is a candy bar. This is a melted candy bar. It's been sitting right here beside my computer monitor, my LCD computer monitor. Also have a thermometer over there, reads 42 degrees. Now that doesn't sound so bad till you realize it's 42 Celsius, 107 Fahrenheit. Mm-hmm. As far as the kill grandma and all that other, all those other BS things that the Republicans and special interest groups are putting out, I'd just like to say nobody wants to kill your grandmother. There were a few times that I wanted to run away from mine, never wanted to kill her. Also, the Obama administration just isn't telling you the bad news, and the bad news is you're going to have to raise your taxes, okay? I mean, they really need to just be upfront and say, yes, we're going to raise everyone's taxes 8 to 10%. You're going to have to raise your taxes 8 to 10%. Canadians pay 8 to 10% more taxes than we do. They get free health care for that 8 to 10%. It's a good deal. You should take it. Been there, done that. I've been promising to break this article down so it would be less trouble to understand. Basically, let me just hit the high points. I will break it down for this, for the written version, but just let me hit the high points here. Fascism is a system of political authority and social order intended to reinforce the unity, energy, and purity of communities in which a liberal democracy stands accused of producing division and decline. Sounds a lot like what some of the right-wingers are saying, doesn't it? First stage, a rural movement emerges to effect some kind of nationalist renewal. This has been going on for some time. Think back to the moral majority. Let's get God back in our schools. Let's turn back the clock and have things be the way they used to be. Fascism begins with cultural atavism. It begins with people that are so busy looking backwards that they run head on into the future and don't even know what hit them. Best example of cultural atavism, probably the Amish, and yet they're probably the least judgmental people in America right now, so go figure. Stage 2. Fascist movements take root, turn into real political parties, and seize their seat at the table of power. In other words, go back to the civil rights movement in the 60s. Lyndon Johnson said of the Civil Rights Act 1964, the South will abandon, he said, I just cost the Democratic Party the South for the next 50 years. They'll go Republican for the next 50 years. Why? Because you had a lot of insecure, racist people. Somehow it was okay to work on, like, N-word, but it wasn't okay to have them, vote. People who are scared do dumb things. They're right for groups to take them over. They become the SA. They become the fascist. They become, they become move on. I mean, not move on, but swiftboatvets.org. They become these angry mobs that you see at the rallies, at the town hall meetings. They get their talking points off of a website. They go to the meetings, and all they're there for is to disrupt discourse, to ensure that nothing gets said. Just like a group of paid Republican operatives that went to Florida when the recount was ongoing, they were told to shut it down. That's it in a nutshell. Disaffected and fearful people determined to shut it down. Stage 3. And this is the stage we'd never come to before. We're there now. Stage 3. All through the Bush years, progressive right-wing watchers refused to call it fascism because we kept looking. We never saw clear signs of a deliberate, committed, institutional partnership, blah, blah, blah. Okay. The Teabag movement was created out of whole cloth by AstroTurf groups like Dick Armey's Freedom Works and Tim Phillips's Americans for Prosperity. Basically, the third stage is where the fearful and disaffected go around to disrupt meetings. If necessary, they engage in physical combat to show up with guns. The mobs grow. The pitchforks and the torches start to come out. This is, by the way, if you were going over a mountain, this would be where you reach the summit. From here on out, you're going down the mountain. It doesn't matter if you hit the brakes. Your brakes will burn out. You're going down the mountain. At the bottom of the mountain, fascism. It says, where's the danger line? Are neo or proto-fascists becoming rooted as parties that represent major interests and feelings and wield major influence on the scene? Is the economic or constitutional system in a state of blockage apparently insoluble by existing authorities? Is the rapid political mobilization threatening to escape the control of traditional elites? By my reckoning, we're 3 for 3. History tells us that once this alliance catalyzes and makes a successful bid for power, there's no way off the ride. Well, she's probably right. Stage 4. As the duo assumes full control of the country, the duo being the mobs and those who back them. You heard Eisenhower caution about the military-industrial complex? Well, we're talking about big business. We're talking about people backing websites that incite people. It says, the duo assumes full control of the country. Power struggles emerge between the brown shirt, bread, party faithful, and the institutions of the conservative elites, church, military, professions, and business. We're on the doorstep. I'll think of a few more things to say. Like I said last night, I had some really good blogs written in my head, and damned if the heat didn't just erase them. Talk to y'all later. Cool.